Thanks for tuning into the podcast as we sneak into our tree stand midweek with the main boys and bring you our first mini-series featuring an exclusive experience of CT guided hunt. We are the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. I'm your host D-Rock here with my brother-in-arms,
Trev.
And we here in the Slave Studio hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Shabeen Brewing, CT's finest craft beer in Wolcott, Connecticut, the Hunter's Beer. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide. Check them out at www.shopshogun.com. Trev's Euros, for all your Euro mount needs on Facebook. Tonight's miniseries is made possible by CT Bowhunting, CT's #1 source for bow hunters. Download their app, CT Bowhunting app. You can find it in the App Store. It's free. Tonight's episode is also made possible by Nor'easter Game Calls. Get them in close for all your game call needs at www.nor'eastergamecalls.com. We are here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock? I'm excited, dude, to get up in deer camp. This is going to be huge. I'm excited.
Why don't we go over real quick what's happening? Why are we doing this miniseries, Trev?
So our boys from Nor'eastern Game Callers are coming down to visit us, and they're going to spend a couple of days in camp with us. We put in a lot of hard work, a lot of hard times, just blood, sweat, and tears to just kind of get on deer on, one of our private properties. Shabeen. What do you got over there?
John Beer, of course.
Oh, that's right, because Rye Guy's not in the studio, so you can actually have a John Beer, huh?
Yeah, he's usually hogging the John Beer, even though I caught him out sandbagging one of them last episode.
That's right, dude. You fucker.
I'm glad I was able to have one tonight without trying to race to have one.
Right, exactly, dude.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out because we made a couple bets towards our kill spots, and our ink bets, which we both lost, you and I.
That's true. Very true.
I just want to shout out Burning Hearts Tattoo. I had my appointment tomorrow, but I'm actually going to be joining the hunt with the Nor'easter Boys and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. And I slid my appointment to my fiance. So shout out to Wes and Burning Hearts Tattoo. And you can find them at www.burningheartstattoo.com. Talk to Wes. He runs the show. He's the owner, and he's nasty at the ink. Located in Dirty Water, right on Meriden Road. So he does some nasty work, and he's all about outdoor
I guess
artwork as well.
I'm gonna have to go check him out for that East Coast Bowhunting logo.
Hell yeah!
I mean, we got our boys Patsy. He's up in New York at Fastlane, but I don't know. We might have to use our boy down in Dirty Water for this one, I think.
Hell yeah. So I'm pumped. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. Tonight we're going to set up deer camp, make it comfortable for the boys to come down from Maine. And it's going to be a good time, man.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a little worried about is we got a little bit of a storm front pushing in Friday night. So I hope that holds off enough for us to kill something and get out of the woods and get back to camp. And then comes through, blows through, and then Saturday morning we have a fresh start.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually looking forward to it because I think this storm, it's actually bringing a cold front, so I think it's going to work to our benefit first thing in the morning, and it ain't coming until later on the afternoon. Right. So we're going to get a fool's day hunt. I suspect it's going to get a little windy in the afternoon hunt, but I think it'll give us a good, if anything, it'd be a good scouting day, live hunting scouting day, and then set up properly for Saturday night.
Looking at Saturday during the day, it was that wind's going to be pushing that storm out, so it's definitely going to be gusty. We're just going to play it by ear, man. We're just going to get out there and we're going to do what we need to do and just put all of our work to the test and hope that we're where we need to be. These boys came down last time. They hunted with me for 4 days.
I was in the Dominican at that time, right?
Yeah, you were. You were in the Dominican. Ryan was working, so it was just me. And Ethan ended up shooting a pieball. He got a pieball, spike horn, and a doe. Mark missed an absolute giant. I hope he's still around. We talked about him 101 times, the dark chocolate boy. And
we'll touch base on that.
I hope and then finding that shed on that same exact property, and there's just I think that there's a lot to unopen. If we don't open it this year, maybe next year, there's a lot of potential in this property. We just got to put our feet on the ground and do what we got to do. And I think with having all of us on the same property and all the eyes and just all the work and just putting it to this true test, I think that I hope that we're rewarded. You know?
Hell yeah! And
the
Mexican's gonna slide off into the ninja status on a different little property, a little gold mine.
That's okay. We got our work done over there too.
We got a good game plan. We got a good game plan.
That's right.
I switched up my arrow setup, so no more shooting and losing.
That's okay. You know, that's good.
I'm gonna be slinging some slugs.
That's what we like to hear.
If this arrow was a bullet, it'd be a deer slug, straight up.
That's what's up, dude. That's it.
Running 11.7 GPIs. Oof.
And I did the same thing. I just switched from the Full Metal jackets to the Easton Hexes. I picked up probably 15 yards on the HHA, but in the difference, I mean, that's how fast I am.
That's what I'm saying.
When I hit it through the chromosome, what is that called? I don't, whatever the fuck it is. I got the speed.
Shooting darts.
I got the speed at 322 out of my synergy. So
that's nice.
Yeah, flying.
Yeah.
So shit's going
shooting
down.
Darts. Oh yeah. I feel bad for whatever's on the other end.
Oh yeah. So this is cool. So why don't we get in connection with the boys from Northeast? Let's bring them
hit up
on
Northeastern game calls and talk to Mark and Ethan and
let's get the show on the road.
Good.
I want to get to camp.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so we're here with the Northeastern game call crew. Straight out of Maine, and happy to get this show on the road, right, Trev?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Ethan and Mark Buzzle on the phone here with us, and we're going to ask them a couple of questions.
So first and foremost, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm going good. We're headed your way.
Hell yeah. How's the drive so far?
Traffic's not so great. We just crossed on to New Hampshire and just heading southbound.
Live free or die, huh?
That's right.
So why don't each of you guys, for our listeners out there, why don't each of you guys tell us a little something about yourselves as individuals, as human beings and hunters?
All right. So my name's Ethan O'Leary. Live just outside of Bangor, which is the central part of Maine. Been hunting for going on about 16, 17 years. We got into bow hunting about 6-7 years ago. Been just trying to slay every deer I can come across.
Oh yeah,
that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We got like expanded archery, so that's what we do. It's not as we don't see as many deer as you guys, but we have a great time.
Hell yeah,
that's all that matters.
Playing and slaying, so to speak. Word.
Yeah.
That's right.
What about you, Mark?
It was me. My name's Mark Buzzle. I'm the owner of Northeastern Game Calls. And basically, I've always been a rifle hunter, and I started bow hunting back in 1987. And I kind of gave it up in 1990, believe it or not. It was like just was not successful back then. It just started with compound bows. And again, we don't have a lot of deer, but the ones we have are pretty decent size. Got into rifle hunting, on a lot of nice deer throughout my life. I've gotten for, 40 years now plus. And got into bow hunting. Even kind of dragged me into it, and so did you guys. Being kinky bow hunting and East Coast bow hunting. So I've been that by bringing the bow and giving it a shot. And it's been a lot of fun.
Right.
Tell him, hey, Mark, why don't you, Ethan, can you just give him the phone? We're kind of like losing him. I can't really hear Mark.
Yeah, it almost sounds like he had the window down
right,
almost.
hear me
Or
now?
something.
Yeah, there we
perfect.
go. Okay, that's what we like to
perfect.
see.
All right, hold on a minute. Let me have him turn the volume up on this phone.
All right.
Cool. For our listeners out there, I mean, we're hitting them up on the road. They're driving down right now to deer camp in Connecticut, so just bear with us. They actually sound really good for traveling down, so just bear with us.
We're just trying to make it work right. So, Mark,
I should be back here for you now.
Perfect,
there we go, Mark.
Yeah, that sounds
okay.
really good.
Awesome.
Hey, Mark, in a short version, can you recap on what you just told us for our listeners out there?
Oh, sure. No, what I was saying is I live in Carmel, Maine, which is, again, just outside of Bangor, Maine, which is central. I started bow hunting back in 1987, and about 1990, I kind of gave it up. I was having pretty much zero success back then. They had just started coming out with compound bows, and I found it a lot easier to rifle hunt for obvious reasons, and was quite successful at it. Started shooting some pretty decent-sized deer, and as time went by, it's kind of easy with a rifle, obviously, compared to a bow. I mean, you don't need to close the distance.
Right.
And,
right.
Of course, meeting Ethan, and we both share a lot of the same thing on outdoor sports. He kind of convinced me to get into doing some bow hunting, and then I met you, of course, as part of my pro staff. So between doing East Coast bow hunting and CT bow hunting, and then chatting with you guys about the deer down there, and come on down, and we had a great time when we did, and so now I'm kind of hooked on the bow hunting aspect of it. So it's just a matter of time before I actually get my first deer with a bow. And like I was saying, I started hunting a long time ago, so it's just a matter of time now that I'm into a full and all the equipment and how we get into climbing tree stands. There's no such thing as a climbing tree stand. When I first started, you just basically could only do the sneak and peek, and that was pretty tough to do.
That's good. Yep.
How did you and Ethan hook up? How'd you guys meet up?
He was a neighbor of my brother's, and I run Penobscot Appliance Repair, which is an in-home appliance repair company. And I was looking for some extra help and hired him on. And then, of course, knew him before that, that he was right into hunting and fishing and pretty much everything I was. And we just basically having the same interest about, coyote hunting and deer hunting and bird hunting. And where I have a bird dog, he enjoyed going with me. So then he got a bird dog. So we're pretty much stuck now. We're going to be in it for life.
Yeah, so, you guys are partners in crime.
That's exactly right.
So you could kind of say you guys are like peas and carrots, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. So why'd you guys get started with Nor'easter Game Calls? Why you guys start this business up?
Yeah, brief history of that is it was in 2010. I love the duck hunt. That's just a lot of fun because, me being Mr. Chatty Natty, during duck hunting, you can sit there and talk all you want. It's not a big deal. And a buddy of mine, we were getting ready to go, and I wanted a duck call, so I was going through the catalog of a big company, very large box store, and they actually had an acrylic duck call that was an award-winning duck call, and it was $80 back in 2010, which that's a lot of money.
Damn!
So
Wow.
I paid the $80, had it overnight shipped so I could have it, as fast as possible. The duck call arrived, and I'm no championship duck caller by any means, but I can get it done. And this thing sounded horrible. So I couldn't even, I took it with me, and my hunting partner, Jimmy, was just laughing at me every time I blow on it. It sounded like somebody had a duck squeezed right by the nutsack.
must have been porn star Ryan.
I got pretty upset. So I called the company and told them what happened, and they said, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. We're going to, we can give you in-store credit. And I kind of went that route. And that's when I started doing research on the internet about how to build duck calls and turkey calls. And I just decided where I'm a custom knife maker as a hobbyist. And I have a lot of materials that people don't work with, from Africa, bones and mammoth ivory, mammoth tooth, a lot of exotic woods, and the connections to get it. So I did all the reading and got my jigs made, and one thing led to another, and now I build them all. And if you hunt it, I can make a call for it.
That's right. Sick. That's sick.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, what did I give you last time that you came down? Did you have any luck with that?
What was that?
What about the oxen? The oxen horn.
I haven't started on them yet. I was too busy building you guys custom grunt calls.
Yeah, we much rather have that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I will definitely get started on those and come up with something pretty cool for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait for that.
I'm going to take those big horns and get them drilled out, get them all polished up, and I'm not sure what we're going to call them. The small ones I make are just called alpha male coyote calls, and I guess these are magnum calls because it's going to be huge and extremely loud.
I can't wait. Just more or less for the chance of just using them. Who cares if we actually use them in hunting? Just to have them and use them is just going to be wicked awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it's going to be pretty neat. It's almost going to be like that extra large turkey call I have.
That's right.
Weighs about 7 pounds.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got a giant box call. It's like 6 feet long. It's pretty cool.
So Mark, what does Ethan do for you now?
He's like you. He's part of my pro staff. Besides being just a best friend, he
he uses all my calls. He'll come over and actually make some occasionally, make one for himself, and I'll help him out with it, point him in the right direction, and that's pretty much it. He's out there where he is a slayer. I mean, I swear to God, that guy, he's definitely eating something that got 4-leaf clovers in it, because he's just been doing fantastic.
Yeah, he eats Lucky Charms for fucking breakfast. There's no questions to that.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm pretty sure that when he goes to the bathroom, he's shitting out 4-leaf clovers.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. East Coast slang. We do it East Coast style. That's really cool. Really cool. So Mark, what's your mission with Nor'easter Game Calls?
I would say that most of the mission when I started was to build a very unique high-end call that's still affordable for the average hunter. I mean, if you go out and price out some of these, Toya wood or, anything that's really in Boya wood high-end calls, I mean, they're $150, $200 a piece. So I try doing a very basic line that starts at let's just say turkey calls and duck calls, like $25 to $35.
Right.
And that's where I'd like to keep it for the basic calls. And if you want something really high-end and really unique, I try to stay under $80. And I'm talking like a cholla cactus, completely made by me. That everything's done by me. I cut the reeds. I make the tone boards. I hand tune each one of them. And that's my mission, is to do that, and then obviously, hopefully, hear back from the people that have my calls. And when they do that, which happens quite frequently, like even with you guys and others that they're not part of my pro staff, I'll get emails from them showing me what they got, and it's pretty cool. You actually feel like you're part of the hunt. You were a part of it. You get the ducks in close, or you brought the turkey in, or somebody grunted a deer right in, and that's pretty cool.
Right. That's pretty badass. We were actually, it's funny, you got me thinking of the recent snap on Snapchat. We're just our group snap on East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, and right then and there, just talking about your product, there was a sale made right then and there. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, Mike Griffin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And it's all about that. Again, where I'm a little older, I'm in my 50s. It's
you're
really
still
nice
young.
to see how
you're still
guys
young
help
blood.
out with Instagram and Snapchat, and it really is pretty much going to be multimedia when it comes to that. It's going to be almost all online now. It's not like the old days.
Right.
No, exactly.
Now, social media is really big, and I thank you guys for that, is getting me started in that and helping me out. And that's where the name gets around. The more people that use it and promote it, it's going to be, like I said, it's taken off a lot over just the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And going along with that, Mark, what kind of things are we doing together as far as what we're going to do for the East Coast bow hunters out there to give back to the community? What are we going to do as a partnership together?
No, I figured it as being a partnership, you guys are helping me, and I want to help you guys out. So basically, anybody that purchases one of my custom-made calls, when they pay for it through PayPal or they want to send me a text message, if they just let me know that they heard it through East Coast Bow Hunting, I'm going to take 20% of what I've made off of that sale and put it into a kitty, and then we're going to buy stuff to give away to help out other hunters, be it harnesses or hunting knives or compasses and whatever I can help out with. And this time on the way down, I'm bringing down about $1,000 worth of giveaways for you guys to give away to people that are less fortunate, or for people that are tagging people to listen to East Coast Bowhunting's podcast.
Wait a minute, Mark.
Hold on, time out.
Hold on. Mark, can you just repeat that last part again for us, for us less fortunate Mexican-style East Coast bow hunters out here? Can you repeat that last part, please?
Sure. Basically, it's just talking about East Coast bow hunting and helping you guys out where you help me out. I want to take anybody that buys a call from me and take 20% of the profits on that call and put it in a kitty so that we can buy gear for other hunters. And like I said, you guys feel free to give it away as you please. For people that are less fortunate, also for people that are tagging people to get more members to listen to East Coast Bow Hunting. And like I'm saying, on this trip down, I'm going to bring down about $1,000 worth of giveaways for you guys.
That's $1,000 worth of gear.
There'll be knives and binoculars and compasses and you name it. And I'll have some of my gear as well, some hats and some Nor'easter Game Call shirts and whatever I could do to help you guys out. So that
East Coast rep.
It'll definitely be a fun giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, Mark. We really appreciate that, and we're going to put those in the right hands of the right people.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you will. And like I said, this has been such a great partnership with you guys. It's been phenomenal. I was a little leery of pro staffs at the beginning because a lot of them, it's pretty hard to track them down and to keep them really busy. And you guys have been nothing but just like brothers. It's been just fantastic. We're always in touch. And, as far as just inviting us down, I mean, you pretty much guided us for the 3 days we were down and spent your time with us, got us onto some deer. I missed a buck of a lifetime, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's hear about that, Mark. Tell us a little bit about that. What happened?
Oh, boy. Yeah. Again, being new to bow hunting, unfortunately, I was sitting in a tree stand and being kind of a scaredy cat. I had the rail down so that, if I stood up and fell out, I wouldn't go too far. And I happened to be sitting there. I looked down, and a doe had run out not 8 yards from the tree. And she was basically standing right next to the tree. I drew back on her, and I was waiting for a good shot. And she wasn't giving me a good shot. It wasn't going to be an ethical shot. So I stayed drawn on her. And she kept looking over her shoulder. And the tree I'm in is massive. It's like the size of a hood of a truck. And I peeked around the tree to see what she was looking at. And there was a great big swamp donkey standing there. A nice 8 or 10 point buck. Big wide horns, 8-9-inch tines. Probably a 140 class, 150 class buck. So I got nervous, obviously, because everybody does when you see a deer that size. And I had to decompress on the bow because it had been about 3 minutes. So I decompressed on the bow, and I waited, and I kept watching her, and I kept peeking around the tree, trying not to get busted, but I really wanted to see how big this deer was. And when I looked down, I watched her walk away, and again, like a dummy, watched her. And when I looked down, he was sniffing her pee. He was directly 8 yards out from the tree, straight down, and broadside. So I drew back on him.
Good grief.
I put my pin on him. I said, and I almost think I said it out loud. I think I said, "You're dead." I let the release go, and the arrow just kind of fell to the ground, and he didn't die. So I looked at him, and he looked around, and he kind of started to walk off. So I looked down at my bow to grab an arrow, and the string was off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing ever.
After a little more investigating, what had happened was when I was leaning that straight down, I put the bottom cam wheel right on top of the steel rail.
Wow, ain't that some shit?
Yeah, and then he calls me, and I was like, so how'd you do for the night? And he's like, I missed the biggest buck of my life, and I fucked up my bow.
You know what? And that goes to show, I mean, even the most experienced of people, it happens.
It happens.
And that's what it is.
It was disappointing, but at the same point, it was extremely fun. I mean, I got to see, a raunchy buck with a bow. I mean, 8 yards from the tree. I mean, he didn't even have a clue I was sitting there. And it was just a lot of fun. But and it was thank God you knew somebody that could put my bow in a bow press and put it back together for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we went and saw Mark at Andover Archery, and he took care of Mark and Ethan and made sure that we can get back up in the tree.
Shout out to Andover Archery.
Yeah, absolutely. And with doing that, and I don't want to put any more salt in the wound, but talking to the landowners, they know that deer, and he's known as the Chocolate Boy, and he's over 160 inches, Mark.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a big boy. I've shot some really big deer with a rifle, and like I said, when I saw him, it was just reminiscent of that's about as big as they get. After that, it just gets insane. When you see one that big, it's a wall hanger. There's just no doubt about it.
Right. Hey, Mark, if you don't mind, this would be a good time to transition to Ethan, if you don't mind handing him the phone, so this way we can start talking about his experiences last time he was down here.
Absolutely.
And we'll get back to you because
hand it over to him.
We got some questions for you too, Mark, so we'll be back in touch with you in a minute.
So, Ethan, you there?
I'm here.
All right,
Ethan.
buddy. So, the main tip-to-tip East Coast Slayer, we want to get first-hand experience on what happened that day for you.
And not only that, he's a Shabine drinking fool.
Oh, word? Oh, word.
I'm telling you, that's some quality beer right there. Shabine, that all the way, before I head back home, I'm going to stop at the store, pick up a bunch, and bring it back with me, boys.
Hell yeah, that's what we're talking about. So let us know your experience, first-hand experience. What happened that day of the hunt?
The day of the hunt that Mark missed his deer?
No.
Yeah.
Just in general, the couple of days. Just put us together play by play.
So we came down on a Thursday. We got into where we were going to hunt. It was about like 3 o'clock. Trevor says, "Oh, yeah, I want you to go over here. I'll show you on the map." I said, all right, it can't be that bad. So I always call you guys flatlanders. And up home, we
we don't have mountains and hills. And I get down there, I'm like, this is just ridiculous, boys. I mean, Trevor's sending me up these mountains and ravines. I'm like, this is foolish. So I climb up into my spot, and I was in a great spot. I didn't see any deer the first night I was there. Got to hear the stories from Mark about what was going on and his unfortunate events. But like I told him, I mean, that's just how it goes. We've all been there. We've all had our mess ups, our misses. That's part of hunting.
That's hunting for sure.
I mean, that night ended. Woke up the next morning, pouring rain. Went into a little ground blind, sat there, didn't see anything. That was Friday, nothing in the morning. Went back out in the afternoon, still didn't see anything. I'm like, man, I just can't seem to get onto a deer here. I was thinking this is going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. So Saturday morning shows up. Trevor and I walk into a spot. We sit in a nice little ground blind and had a nice little spike horn come out. He walked out, and I said, geez, Trevor, I'm going to take him. And Trevor goes, no, man, wait, he's going to get closer. So he comes across this little opening straight out. I'm like, Trev, here's my rangefinder. You got to let me know where he's at. I don't know my distance down here. So Trevor rangefinded him. It's about 30-yard shot. I said, all right, I'm going to drop string on this guy. I shot him. He turned, he ran down this little tiny trail. I'm like, oh, good shot, straight through and through, quartering to me, which isn't the best scenario, but at least, I was hoping for, a nice lung shot, liver. So the deer ran. Trevor and I sat there for a couple more hours. I said, all right, well, let's go look, see what's happened. So we had decent blood for about the first, I don't know, Trev, what do you think, 40, 50 yards?
Yeah, exactly, yep.
And I said, okay, he's going to be piled up here pretty soon. And we kept looking, and the blood got smaller, and it was a drip and a drop. And we're zigzagging, and I've shot a lot of deer, somewhere in the 20 range, probably a little over 20 deer.
So you put deer on the ground, savage.
So, I mean, and this deer's just doing things I've never seen. I mean, going up huge ravines and straight back down. I'm like,
it was crazy.
Nice wounded deer, they don't do that. They're going to go the path of least resistance.
That's CT.
If they can go downhill, they're going to go downhill. If there's water, they're going to head to that water. And he just wasn't doing this. So Trev and I tracked him about, 200-300 yards. And I'm second-guessing myself, thinking that arrow went straight through that deer at roughly a 45-degree angle. And we get going, and we jump him. And it's just, never saw him, just heard him go. It's just drips and drops. So I said, oh, let's back out. We'll go get Mark, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
so
and
I'm
it really
stewing on it, and I'm like, let's go back. Let's look for another 30 minutes and see what we can find. I said, maybe I shot him really high, and it just didn't touch any vitals. We went back, found that blood trail again. We tracked him another 30, 40 yards, and he was piled up right there, which was great.
Yeah, that deer... That deer questioned my intelligence, I'll tell you that. He definitely put it to the test.
Yeah, I mean, like Trev just said, I mean, him and I are just looking at each other, talking, we're like, I've never seen a deer do these weird zigzag patterns. And like I said, I mean, going up straight hills. It's like, usually severely wounded deer are not going to do that. They're going to go downhill. But we were able to put our hands on him, confirm that kill, bring that one out of the woods. That's a good day right there. And I try to stress to everybody, even up home, you shoot a deer, you don't have great blood, don't give up. I mean, that deer, if you think in your heart that you've got a good shot, don't give up. Deer do weird things. Holes get plugged. You just got to stay on it. Stay on that deer. And, if you have to, I always try to remember the thing, do the cast out. If you lose blood, start doing small circles. You're going to try to pick up anything, small, minute, little drop. I mean, there's times when it's the size of the end of a pencil lead, just puny. Doesn't mean that deer didn't die, and you just got to keep going. Usually I like to say, if that last blood, if I can't find anything in an hour, 2 hours, then my chances are he's not going to die from that. You know, he'll live to see another day.
Yeah, and that deer had a liver shot, you know, and he did go down and he ended up dying, and just the persistence of all of us together, we were able to get on that deer and find that deer, which was actually kind of a special deer because it was actually a piebald with a huge white spot on its side. It was a pretty cool deer.
Exactly. I mean, I've never shot a piebald deer. I mean, and that comes from genetics down your way where you get a lot of interbreeding of deer.
Yeah, it definitely does. There's a lot more. They're actually a little bit more common than they have in the past, but they definitely with the numbers, you know, having 20, 30 deer per square mile, the genes start to mishmash together, and that's when you start having those imbalances in the gene pool. So it's kind of cool.
Most certainly. I mean, you nailed it right on the head, Trev. Is that, I mean, these deer, you got a lot of them. I mean, where I hunt up home, if I'm going to assume probably somewhere between 5 and 10 deer per square mile, and that's going to be a good spot. There's places where you may only have 1-2 deer per square mile. It happens. That's common for us.
And meanwhile, while you guys are up here slaying and playing and slaying, I'm over there, the Mexicans in the Dominican Republic, shooting arrows, wishing he was with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We're sending pictures and telling stories.
Oh, man, that was the worst.
So, I mean, to get back on the hunt part, that was my Saturday. So Saturday finished up in the morning. Trevor hooked us up with another guy, and he said, hey, you know, you're going to drive a little bit further, but, you know, go down and see him. He's got a ton of deer. Went down to that guy's place. I think it's like zone 11, right, Trev?
Zone 11 and 12, yeah, on the shoreline.
Zone 11 and 12. And I'll tell you, it's the amount of deer, I was just flabbergasted. I mean, it's almost unbelievable.
Can you paint the picture? Can you paint the picture as to like what you walked into and what it was like going down there and seeing it, being from Maine and being in this big wilderness of God's country, and then going down to zones 11 and 12 and walking into what was your views? How did you think?
It's like walking into the club. Word, Ethan?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so when we got down to zone 11 and 12, I'm sure there's a lot of big parcels of land, but what I walked into was...
Oh, no, there's no big parcels of land down there.
No, it was urban. I'm telling you, there was like 5 houses that I was watching. I was hunting a 4-acre parcel, and the only time I can ever say I've ever done this, I was in the tree stand connecting to people's Wi-Fi internet from my tree stand. I mean, that's as crazy as it gets.
Only in CT.
And I mean, so the guy was really great. He brought us in. He was like, yeah. He goes, you know, look at all these rubs. There was like 15 rubs in a spot, maybe a third of an acre. He's like, you know, you normally around this time, you're going to see 30, 40 deer come in here, you know, at night. And I'm like, 30 or 40 at a time? He's like, oh, yeah, they're everywhere. So I'm like, okay. You know how one of those things, you just don't believe it? It's like almost too good to be true.
Yeah, why would you believe it?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, so I was like, all right, I'll just listen to him. So I climbed up in the stand, and I was sitting there, and I was texting Mark. I'm like, man, this is some weird-ass hunting down here.
How close were you to his house?
I'm going to say I was about 45 yards from his barbecue grill on his back deck.
That's what I'm talking about. Some
there
urban
was like
bow
3
hunting.
trees between me and his very nicely manicured lawn.
That's the way we do.
Yeah, so I mean, I was sitting up in the stand, and I'm looking around, and I mean, watching a guy wash his car, and a dog walks underneath my tree stand. I'm like, well, this is just weird. And I look back over my shoulder. I'm like, holy hell! There's 3 deer right behind me. I'm like, okay, well, awesome.
Right.
So I'm watching them, and this doe comes in. I'm like, you're dead meat. I mean, I'm gonna at least tag you out.
Right.
So I mean, I drew back. She was all of maybe 14 yards. I pinned her. She only made it about 30 yards after that. Nice hard shot.
Nice.
You know, really ethical. And the tough part is down in that zone is you have to be an ethical shot. If you don't, I mean, they're just going to run on somebody's lawn.
Oh, they're definitely going to someone's lawn.
You got to drop the string and make sure that you got to be comfortable knowing that my pin and where I'm going to shoot is where my arrow is going to hit.
Right.
And a lot of people, you get excited. Everybody gets excited when they see deer. My excitement comes in the first about 30 seconds I see that deer. And then my brain switches over, and I'm into this routine where, I've shot a lot of deer. It gets exciting, and then, boom, it's down to do business. You get to seal the deal.
In savage mode. He goes in
It's
savage
all over
mode.
about the crying in the end, and you just pray and hope that you do everything right, and, it works out well.
You're in straight killing mode at that point. Just straight savage. I'm just going to fucking put a hole in this thing.
No, it becomes business.
It's all fun, and then it becomes all work after that.
Yeah, I mean, the work will come after that, but you just it's down to business. You get it done. You get a good shot. So, I mean, I shot her. I saw like another 3 or 4 deer, and I was hoping I could have shot them. They were about 40 yards out, really comfortable, super easy shot. But I'm like, damn, they're gonna run. They're gonna walk right down to Mark. I'm gonna let him smoke them. Let him draw some blood with his bow, and it didn't work out that way. Unfortunately, the deer that I was watching walked right over to my dead one that I just killed, and they just turned and walked right away from Mark. They didn't hang around. So that was the end of my Saturday. I put 2 deer on the ground down in Connecticut.
That's right.
Sealed the deal.
Oh yeah.
Now you're back. You're back for more in rut action this time.
Yeah, back for more. So I mean,
what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah. What's your expectations of coming back down? Now you've seen it once, and now you're gonna do it for the second time.
Right. What's the main goal? No pun. The main
goal.
goal.
I mean, my main goal is draw blood. Yeah. Would I love to shoot a scruncher buck? Absolutely. Will I say that if a doe comes out, I'm not going to shoot her? No.
No, because you're a fucking savage.
Be laid out
Meat is
somewhere
meat.
close by.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, so right now, this year, since the 14th of September, I've killed 5 deer, 4 with my bow, 1 with my rifle. So now I'm just back looking to see what I can find again.
That's awesome.
Looking for that big boy now, word?
That's right.
Yeah, always looking for the big boy. I mean, like up home, Mark was saying, I mean, we have a rifle season and an archery season. I'm still going to go back home and archery hunt this year. But rifle season, I walked out behind my house. I left my house at about 4:20, and I shot my deer at 4:44. Nice little 8-point with a 2-inch little sticker on it, so I technically can't count it as a 9-point, I guess. But a nice deer, and deer are just hard to come by up home.
Shitting and eating Lucky Charms. You gotta
just seal the deal.
Right.
Shitting and eating Lucky Charms, are you there, Ethan? Ethan O'Leary, are you Irish?
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I gotta switch up my cereal tactic in the morning. That's part of it.
Fuck the Wheaties. We're going
no more Wheaties.
No, we're going to Lucky Charms.
Yeah. I mean, my expectation for coming down there this time is just learning a little bit more about the property that you guys have. I mean, you have things that, as far as trees and different plants that your deer really like to eat that we don't have up home.
Yeah, and that's another thing this year that's making the season a lot harder is that there is no acorns. So they're all having a conversation with Mark yesterday, and he was telling me some of his experience and picking his brain with how they're eating the new growth buds and so on and so forth. So it really put a big aspect. All the things that I learned the hard way this week, Mark could have told me in one sentence.
Right. Hey, Ethan, if you don't mind.
And that just comes with the hunting as far as
experience.
Years of experience, years of in the woods. And like up home, we don't have, vast apple orchards and, mountain laurels. We don't have any of that.
So it's different
it's
for
just
you.
Thick timber, cedar swamps,
big
bogs.
Yeah, the bogs.
A lot of bogs up home, Tahan. Yeah, there is oak ridges and stuff, don't get me wrong. But this year, we didn't have shit for acorns or beech nuts. And I'm sure you guys
it was a bad year this year.
We didn't have a wet enough summer to produce good fruit off these trees.
It was almost
just
like
a
Mother Nature was
dry
confused.
summer.
Really confused.
Yeah.
Hey Ethan, we're excited. We can't wait to see you in deer camp, man. Why don't we talk to Mark for a little bit, finish up this interview so we can get to deer camp and get some dinner cooking on the grill.
Awesome. It was great talking to you guys. I'm going to pass you off to Mark.
Sounds good, Ethan. We'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit, bud.
All right, brothers. Bye.
So, Mark, you there?
Yeah, those were all lies.
Well, I kind of had a feeling. He's a straight slayer, just like he said, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, he is. He's definitely a slayer, and he's a good boy. He knows how to hunt it.
Hell yeah. So, Mark, since we asked Ethan, what are your expectations this time around? I know you want to go sit in that tree that you saw that other one, right?
Because usually if I do that, they won't be fulfilled. So if I had to just kind of try to put some expectations, I would love to draw blood for the first time with a bow. And it doesn't matter. I'm not looking for a scrauncher. It can be a buck, a doe, a spike horn.
You're just trying to put the blood on the ground.
That's it this time.
Seal the deal.
Yeah, it's basically, wanting to at least get my first buck and get that out of the way. And then from there, I'll stop becoming extremely picky. I want something to put on the wall to be proud of that I've gotten with a bow.
Of course.
There you go. That's a realistic goal. That's pretty cool. So, Mark, we're going to start winding down in the episode, and we really appreciate you taking the time to give us a call while you guys are driving. We don't condone it for the people out there, but, we wanted to get the inside scoop before you actually get down here to deer camp, and we actually go out slaying tomorrow. So, the bigger question that everyone wants to know is, why us? Why Nor'easter Game Calls?
And East Coast bow hunting.
Why us?
Oh, it's pretty much like one of the best marriages. I mean, you guys are just full bore hunt. You live it, you breathe it, and it's exactly what I do. I live it, I breathe it, and it was just such a partnership. I got lucky to find you, and I hope you feel the same way about finding me. That it's just going to be a fantastic partnership.
Hell yeah!
I totally agree, Mark.
One big family for sure.
Absolutely. You guys are, pretty much just walked us right into your homes, just like we're family, and that's what I was looking for, and I couldn't have found a better outfit to do it with.
That's awesome.
We're really excited for this weekend, and once again, after the slaying is all done for the weekend, we're gonna gather again on Monday, and we're gonna do a little finish off the mini series of how things gone, and I really hope that one of us has an absolute giant on the ground.
Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
Hell yeah, we'll do a recap, and for all our listening base out there, Mark, where can we find you?
You can find me at nor'eastergamecalls.com.
Awesome. All over social media. We're going to exploit you to the fullest. This way everyone gets in touch with what you're all about. Trev, what you got?
Can you just give them a list of all the calls that you make?
Oh, it's pretty much if you hunt it, I make it. So you got crow calls, you got squirrel calls, turkey calls, duck calls, goose calls, coyote calls, rabbit squealing calls, pretty much any kind of predator call. So, like I said, if there's a season on it, I usually can make a call for you.
That's right. And custom knives. Where can they find your custom knives, Mark?
Custom knives are under M as in Mark, A as in Andrew, B as in Buzzle. So it's MAB Custom Knives. And you'll find a link on there to Nor'easter Game Calls as well. And from Nor'easter Game Calls to MAB Custom Knives.
Hell yeah. We're going to have to jump on that. Where, Trev?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mark, I can't thank you enough, dude. I can't wait for you to be down in camp. We're gonna close up the session here. We're gonna head over to camp. We're gonna fire up the wood stove. We're gonna get things ready, and we're ready to start killing.
So awesome! That sounds good to me. I'll be shaking your hand soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, fellas, tomorrow I'm looking forward to getting in the woods, putting some blood on the ground, and on that note, stay stepping
and stay slaying.
All right, we'll see you soon.